The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, Grand Bahama focused in on the PLP headquarters. Prime Minister Davis and his team are using their time on the island to interview aspirants seeking to represent the party in the upcoming general election. We're live in Grand Bahama tonight. The focus also on Grand Bahama all afternoon as Prime Minister Davis announced an agreement with a Canadian company to take over the Grand Bahama Power. When it comes to the promise, and of course it comes with the promise of lower electricity. Many residents are happy about that this evening. Also tonight, Long Island in the news again. Well, the reason is the FNM has several aspirants, including the incumbent Adrian Gibson. But it's not all smooth sailing for him. We get into it this evening. It's all straight ahead. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening, I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. A major announcement from the Prime Minister today signaling what he says is the end of a long period of uncertainty for Grand Bahama and the start of a new energy direction for the island. The Davis administration holding its cabinet meeting in the nation's second city, where a memorandum of understanding was signed that could see government take over operations of Grand Bahama Power Company. Right now, though, the PLP and its leadership are at the party's Grand Bahama headquarters. They're there to hear from all the aspirants seeking to secure nominations in the constituencies on Grand Bahama. Jose Etienne is live at PLP headquarters. Good evening to you, Jose. It's good to have you join in on the show.
Headquarters here in Grand Bahama, Freeport, Grand Bahama, where the governing party is pretty much entertaining a number of political hopefuls who are vying to put their and throw their hat in the political ring as they seek nomination, in some cases renomination, as we, of course, brace for the country's next general election. And so, Shanique, I've been here for up to an hour now, and I know a number of Progressive Liberal Party supporters and, in some cases, incumbent members of Parliament appeared before the committee as they sought to make their case as to why they should be the next member of Parliament, whether it's for Pine Ridge or Marco City or West Grand Bahama. And so next to me, though, I have Dr. Monique Pratt. Of course, she's an individual who already appeared before the committee already. She has her eyes set on Marco City. We know that is an area that's currently held by the FNM leader, Michael Pintard. But Dr. Pratt says she's bracing herself for a challenge. And as you could hear behind me, even before I go to Dr. Pratt, you could hear loud excitement behind me. It appears someone just exited the room. Of course, either exited or, well, it looks like they've just exited the room. They've just been interviewed by the committee. And so I'm going to go to Dr. Pratt now. Dr. Pratt, nice to meet you. Of course, thanks for having me. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Dr. Monique Pratt. I'm actually a consultant here in Grand Bahama. I work for the Public Hospital Authority. I also have a private practice. And so I'm actually a nephrologist, an internal medicine physician. So I manage a lot of patients in Grand Bahama. I'm well known. And I love what I do. I love serving people. I take care of people. I do that for a living. And so now I'm here today to embark on a new chapter in my life and trying to be the candidate for Marco City in the next up-and-coming general election.
You've already appeared before the committee. Tell us, how did that experience? How was the experience? What was it like? The questions, etc. Your answers. What was your case?
Yeah, the experience was actually really nice, and I felt comfortable. The committee made me feel very comfortable answering the questions. Pretty much ask you about yourself, what the aspirations are, what your plans are for your constituency. And so I've worked hard. I've canvassed. I've met with families. I've gone to people's homes. I've thrown events, and so I feel fully comfortable. I'll do pretty good in Marco City. And I'm quite confident, yes.
Yes, ma'am. And as I mentioned earlier, you're most likely, if you were to be ratified, you're going to be going up against Mr. Pintard, Michael Pintard. He's the leader of the Free National Movement. Now, political observers might argue that Marco City isn't necessarily a stronghold for the FNM. Perhaps a battleground constituency. What do you think will give you the edge over Mr. Pintard?
Again, actually, that was a question they asked, the committee had asked me. The thing is that first of all, and I'm a fresh face, and so I'm coming with fresh ideas, new ideas for the country, for the constituency, and so I think I give me a little edge. I'm actually in love taking care of people, love being in the homes, so I think I think I could win that seat. Yes.
And what do you think gives you the edge over other political hopefuls within this very same party as it relates to Marcos City?
Well, with Marcos City, I have one thing that's special. I, of course, was born and raised there, but I'm actually a physician. And, people love doctors. Everyone knows me in the community. I help them out all the time. I take care of them. And so I think I'm trusted. And that's one thing I think I have over everyone else is that, I'm going to be an individual that's trusted by everybody.
You just heard from Dr. Monique Pratt, who again was assessed and scrutinized by the Candidates Committee moments ago. She has her eyes set on the Marcos City constituency. Again, not necessarily a stronghold for the FNM, perhaps a battleground constituency, as we've seen it been represented by the PLP before. I think, if memory serves correctly, Mr. Gregory Moss was the member of parliament for that area. And so, Dr. Pratt, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me once again. And so, Shanique, we're still here at the PLP headquarters. Still lots of momentum as these individuals are appearing before the committee. And of course, this is all happening as the governing party looks to complete its slate this coming Sunday. Just last week, of course, the party ratified some additional candidates as it relates to the upcoming general election that we're bracing for. This comes as both major parties are looking to finalize their slate. And of course, this coming Sunday, we'll see who's ratified from tonight. A number of persons showed up tonight, but of course, all won't be ratified. And so it'll be quite interesting to see in which direction the party decides to move into. Of course, I'll return shortly. I'm looking to get more interviews. I spoke with the incumbent member of parliament for West Grand Bahama, Kingsley Smith, who said he's seeking renomination and he has more work to do. And so in a moment, Shanique, I'll join you later and we'll have Kingsley Smith to talk. For now, back to you.
Thank you very much, Jose. That's Jose Etienne live in Grand Bahama this evening, where lots happening behind him. He just spoke with Dr. Monique Pratt, who is seeking the PLP's nomination in the Marcos City constituency. You all know that seat is held by Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard. It really looked like it's going to be quite interesting. Monique could just be getting her feet wet, because I'm sure the leader of the opposition is a formidable opponent. Well, we're going to start right there this evening. Welcome my panelists, Cassius Stewart and Ellington Ferguson. Gentlemen, good evening to both of you. It's great to have you both here.
It's always a pleasure,
Listen,
Shanique.
good evening, Shanique, and good evening, Bahamas. Thank you for having me.
A lot is happening in Grand Bahama. We all heard earlier today with the electricity and the power company and what's happening there and other things that was announced. But let's just focus in just for now on what we just came from the PLP's headquarters in Grand Bahama. We saw Dr. Monique Pratt, a local physician there in Grand Bahama, saying that she is going up against the likes of the leader of the opposition. She seems to be a newcomer to politics, or at least frontline politics. You all, what do we expect from that matchup?
Well, Shanique, I just came from Grand Bahama this weekend, and I just want to say I love the people of Grand Bahama. And they express very, very, very love for you too, Shanique.
I'll be going to hear from one of them later on.
And the people
Thanks
of
to you,
Grand Bahama, the
Cassius.
food is good. And so I just want to encourage Bahamians, listen, if y'all want to go vacation in Grand Bahama, that's the place. So I had an opportunity to talk to quite a bit of people on the ground whilst I was there, just socializing with people, getting the feel for what they're saying. And surprisingly, though, most of the support that coming on the people from Grand Bahama was supporting the Progressive Liberal Party. I found that quite strange, considering that Grand Bahama is supposed to be F&M territory, but it seems as if the PLP has significant grounds in Grand Bahama. Young people as well too, and so that's what I found quite interesting. And so now to see that they're launching their candidates, I think they have to continuously work hard. I don't think it's going to be easy in Grand Bahama, because you don't take Grand Bahama for light, because Grand Bahama is supposed to be the epicenter of the F&M support. And that being said, though, the PLP has been clawing away of that support, and their new charismatic team of leaders and so on has been attracting a lot of the professional class that the F&M has always clung to. And so now we see the dynamic shift. So it's going to be very interesting for Michael Pintard in Grand Bahama to win, because Marcos City is a little shaky.
What are you hearing, Ellington, about Marcos City? Because I say certainly Michael Pintard is very strong in his stomping ground, which is Marcos City. He's won that seat now twice. Dr. Monique Pratt is a newcomer, certainly to frontline politics. I've not heard her name before, or even that she's attempted to run before. I imagine that's going to be quite an interesting race. Now, before you answer, though, we are going to go back to Jose Etienne in Grand Bahama, where Kingsley Smith is there. Of course, you know, he is the incumbent in the West Grand Bahama constituency. I wonder how confident he's feeling this evening. Hello again, Jose.
Shanique, of course, I'm back. Like I said, I would be. And next to me, I have the incumbent member of parliament for West Grand Bahama. It's no longer West Grand Bahama and Bimini. As we know, the Boundaries Report Commission pretty much broke off Bimini from that constituency. And let's start there. Mr. Kingsley Smith, how do you feel about that?
That is something that the people on both islands wanted for quite some time. The people of Bimini are proud people. They want to be able to handle their own affairs. And so for many years they've been asking. I supported the move because West Grand Bahama, well, let me say Bimini. Bimini itself is not what I consider an island anymore. They have everything major to sustain themselves. And so they need that person from Bimini to be on the ground to give them that full attention. With having both islands, obviously it takes away from one from the other. And so I'm happy for them. They have an opportunity now to control their affairs. I am personally from West End. I born and raised in West End.
I'm going to bring it back here, right? But before I do, let's talk about your representation over the past, almost 3 years as it relates to Bimini in particular. How do you feel about Bimini, the attention that you were able to give to Bimini?
Right. So Bimini is doing great. I've met some things in place. It's a thriving island. It's doing very good. But in my time there, an airport has started. We would have signed a roadworks for South Bimini from the dock to the airport. Is about 15% uncompleted. And so they're moving. You know, recently MSC would have bought Ocean Key, transformed Ocean Key to their private island. You have Resort World that has their pier, and so they have different cruise lines that comes to Bimini just about every other day. And so the amount of visitors that is on that island, Bimini, I say, is progressing, and I see a even brighter future for them.
Yes, sir. And you, of course, you're saying all of this even as you seek renomination, and I'm told you already appeared before the committee. Let's talk about how that was. And this was really your second time, right?
Yes, my second time.
So how was this session?
Right. So again, as an incumbent, obviously they want to know that you still fit for purpose, that you're fit to continue the job as an MP and represent West Grand Bahama, and that you are also ready to win the seat for West Grand Bahama and the Progressive Liberal Party. And so there are some questions that were asked to see that if you are willing and able. And yes, so I laid that out. I laid my case out perfectly, and so we are ready to move forward.
I know there are other persons who are also throwing their hat in the ring for West Grand Bahama. Why should residents, voters in particular, there choose Mr. Kingsley Smith over anyone else?
Again, my representation in the past 2 years would have shown that I'm there. I'm from the soil. I am on the ground. I'm hearing their concerns. I'm bringing something new to the table. I'm including more persons who traditionally would not have been able, or who are not sit at the table, the political table, I should say. I'm spreading it around. I'm giving more opportunities to more residents. And so it's inclusive. I'm open. Someone you can contact, no matter who you are, what it is. I answer my phone, and I want to be that member of parliament who is there for my people.
Certainly. Well, Shani, you just heard from the incumbent member of parliament for West Grand Bahama, Mr. Kingsley Smith, and as you can see, he's joined by his wife and other persons from the constituency who are obviously supporting Mr. Smith as he seeks renomination for the area. Of course, I was there in 2023 when you were voted in, and almost 3 years later, you're seeking to be renominated, and I'm sure you're hoping to be ratified, and of course, if things swing in your favor, in your direction, you'll be perhaps you'll continue. And I'm sure you're banking your political journey on continuity as the governing Progressive Liberal Party is at this time. And so, Shanique, still a lot more other candidates to appear. We're told a few have already appeared before the committee, and of course you just heard from Dr. Pratt, who said she's vying for Marco City. We obviously know Mr. Smith is trying to retain West Grand Bahama. We're going to be on the grounds for a while, trying to do more interviews with more individuals as the governing party, again, as we said, look to lock in its slate as the next general election inches closer. We held this coming Sunday, where we could see residents, particularly delegates here, ratified. And so we'll see as time inches closer. For now, sending it back to you, Shanique.
All the way. PLP!
Thank you very much, Jose Etienne, there with Kingsley Smith, the Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama. I wish he would have spoken, Cassius and Ellington, more about his track record, what he's been able to do. He talked about what's happening in Bimini. I would have liked to hear more, particularly as he's now totally focused in on West Grand Bahama. What has he done there? I know a lot's happening with, I think it's MSC and some other relationships that's coming from there. And it's happening for Grand Bahama and it will impact Grand Bahama, but also Kingsley Smith, how are you leading out front? That's very important. But he sounds pretty comfortable right now. We will, of course, zero in on Kingsley Smith and anybody else there when we do temperature check. That returns in February. Now, we were talking, Ellington, about Marco City. Marco City is now the constituency where the leader of the Free National Movement, Michael Pintard, has been a two-time elected member of parliament. He's going after a third time to be elected there. We saw a moment ago a lady by the name of Dr. Monique Pratt saying that she is hopeful of being the Progressive Liberal Party standard bearer for Marco City. How does she look against someone who is really a giant, the leader of the Free National, the official opposition?
Shanique, Marco City is going to be one of those races to watch. Michael Pintard is, in fact, a formidable opponent. It's called F&M country. It remains to be seen whether he's going to be able to hold on that. I can tell you that there is multiple guns pointed towards the leader of the opposition. For more reasons than one, there are factions and other factors that is fighting against that Marco City seat. You got the Progressive Liberal Party candidate, you got the COI candidate, and you have others from the who has fallen from the ranks that wants to see the fall of the leader of the official opposition. But I want to state this, that Michael Pintard is no novice. He's no pushover. It's going to be a fight in Marco City. That is going to be one of the race to watch. I think Marco City will signal the real turn in Grand Bahama if, as according to Cassius, there is one.
Well, also too, I think one of the challenges most political leaders have is that they have to be everywhere. And because you are now ubiquitous, it takes away from you just concentrating on your constituency. So when he was just an MP, he could have focused on his constituency. Now he got 41 or 40 now to go focus on, because you got to be everywhere and be in your constituency at the same time. So if you didn't have a good ground game, you're going to lose ground. So Christie experienced that in the election when he lost his seat, because now you didn't focus on your area and you focus on everybody else's area. You everywhere campaigning, everywhere with a rally, and then come to find out you lose your seat by 6 votes. And so that could very well likely happen here, because now as the leader, you got to be everywhere. But if you didn't lay the foundation and people don't feel you, time will tell.
Absolutely. Of course, we know the constituencies of Grand Bahama are Marco City, East Grand Bahama, Central Grand Bahama, West End, and Pine Ridge. All eyes certainly, of course, locked in. Beyond the Headlines is back right after this. Don't go anywhere. No.
January means business.
Very dry, tight, sensitive skin? Relieve it in 60 seconds with Aveeno Skin Relief. With soothing triple oat complex, clinically proven to heal and strengthen dry skin. Aveeno, your skin stronger.
Don't let diarrhea steal your sunshine. Imodium multi-symptom relief gets to work fast in just 1 hour, offering our most complete relief from diarrhea, bloating, gas, and cramps. So you can get diarrhea off your mind. Imodium. Calm the chaos of diarrhea.
Welcome to Paradise Games, where exceptional service meets the ultimate gaming experience. Our dedicated team is here to make every visit a win.
Now this is paradise.
This is more than just a place to play.
Now this is paradise.
It's where excitement meets world-class service.
Now this is paradise.
Now this is paradise.
Come, experience it for yourself. Now this is paradise.
I feel good when you're wrapped up in my arms, dancing to a reggae song. Feel good, feel good. I feel good, 'cause your perfume isn't loud, and only I can talk about. Feel good, feel good. You feel like velvet rubbing over my skin. And when your hair...
It's a Holy Frosty Christmas, and Wendy's and Coke is bringing the chill. This year, when you upgrade any Wendy's combo to a large, you can instantly win big with the Upgrade and Win Christmas giveaway. We're talking travel gift cards, gadgets, holiday treats, and prizes that make your Holy Frosty Christmas shine. Just upgrade your favorite lunch combo, scan the QR code on your receipt to enter, and let the holiday magic begin. Enjoy great tasting food and win big this Christmas with Wendy's and Coca-Cola's Upgrade and Win. Rules and restrictions apply.
Okay guys, this is what we doing today. We training for the bounce back. This 150K payday. Y'all ready? Yes. Y'all sweating today. Give me a 2 ball. 10. Give me another 2 ball. 15. You spin, right? It don't look so. It's 10K. Name these games after me. Food Dragon.
Food Dragon.
Cinema Classic.
Cinema Classic.
Yeah. Put that parlay in. Put that in. You know, Jalen Brunson disappointed us last time. You want to walk for this or you want to run for this? Good pace. Good pace. Not too much water. Put it down. Let's go.
It's the Bounce Back 150K payday. Big wins for 10 weeks straight. 15K every week. 10K to a lucky winner. Visit islandluck.com for more info. Island Luck. Winners live here.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Before we move along, I just want to say that I love my Grand Bahama participants. They did it last night and they stepped right in again this evening. They said about Dr. Monique Pratt that Monique will be a very strong challenge. She was born, raised, and still lives in Marco City. And so again, we will listen this election season, quite interesting. And then of course there's perhaps the incumbent factors that we have not even weighed in as yet. So this is going to be quite interesting. Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all tuned in. Meanwhile, let's continue moving along. A growing showdown in the Free National Movement for who will be the party's representative for a constituency that's been identified as a safe seat for the party over the decades, or quite a number of years. The question tonight, will the incumbent MP remain, or could the party be forced to move in another direction? We get this story from Jose Etienne, and then we come back and talk about it.
There is growing belief in the Long Island Free National Movement Constituency Association that Adrian Gibson's days as the island's member of parliament could reportedly be numbered, as party insiders allege that F&M executives may move on from Gibson despite him reportedly having the full backing of the association. This might not raise an eyebrow for political observers, given that the two-time member of parliament remains at the center of a corruption case before the Supreme Court. Eyewitness News understands a constituency branch meeting was held on Friday. One sources say was contentious, as residents reportedly demanded for Gibson to remain the party's standard bearer. The question about whether or not Gibson would be denied a renomination was put to F&M chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands, who was candid in his response.
I don't know.
And you ask me to answer you directly, I'll answer you directly. That determination is not made. And it would be premature for me to preempt that process.
It comes as Gibson's still hoping that his party would choose him over former Fort Charlotte MP Dr. Andre Rollins and former FNM Deputy Chairman Brad McPhee, who also hope to be nominated. Meanwhile, former FNM Treasurer Michael Turnquest has bowed out.
I will always be an advocate for Long Island. I will always try to find a platform where I can speak out on behalf of Long Islanders. For me, it doesn't need to be frontline politics.
Turnquest is tight-lipped on who he's supporting, but made it clear what the island needs from whoever is ratified and voted in.
Things like ambulance, getting a proper clinic down there. You know, we've seen other services like emergency vehicle services, where we've seen plenty of videos going out with persons being taken to the airport on the back of trucks.
On to Rollins. He's no stranger to FNM politics. After a controversial exit amid mounting strife with the former FNM leadership, Rollins is reportedly looking to make his return, and it's not sitting well with a former government official during the Minnis administration.
And Dr. Rollins' past history in Parliament has demonstrated that he is very disrespectful to the leadership at the time. He displayed that when he was a member of the Progressive Liberal Party towards the Right Honourable Perry Gladstone Christie.
Now, FNM officials have repeatedly blasted Gibson's trial as a political hatchet job, and Long Island resident Irish Pinder believes the drawn-out trial should not have the final say on Gibson's political career.
I said that after 3 years before the courts, and there's no verdict on any count, wouldn't you be suspicious of what is going on?
The FNM is poised to ratify additional candidates on Thursday. It is unclear whether or not Long Island's candidate will be in that number. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
Well, there you have it. Quite interesting there in Long Island. You heard that individual, the resident, say, listen, and so what? He has a court case, and so what? If you have all these charges that have been brought up against him, and yet he's walking around free, then that must say that maybe there isn't much of a case to answer to. Listen, Cassius and Ellington, could we see an embattled Adrian Gibson, who has been dragged this entire term in one courtroom after another, and those charges that are, I think, more in excess of 50, if not near 60, charges against him, be the FNM's candidate?
Shanique, let me say this. I know a little bit about Long Island. People study them. I've been in Long Island a couple of times. Long Island, if I may use the young people term, Long Island, differenter. Okay? Long Island people. When Long Island loves somebody and they supports them, I mean, you could bring 10 parties, FNM, PLP, BLP, or whatever P or whatever M, Long Island stands with their man. And I could tell you, I believe in my heart of hearts that Adrian Gibson can run again and win in Long Island. I believe he still holds a very firm support in Long Island. I really believe he could win. The candidates that are lined up in that race, very good candidates, all of them. Brad, Rollins, Turnquest, great young men. But I believe Adrian still stands out, and he still has the support of the people of Long Island.
I mean, I'm just shocked. I don't understand why he's still a consideration. You can't have 100,000 counts of whatever against you, and you still even in consideration. You know, remember his fiance turned Crown witness against him and spilled all the beans. And so, whether one or two persons in Long Island saying, "Oh, we love him," that doesn't matter. That's doing injustice to the system. That's doing justice to the seat. That's doing justice to the government. That's doing injustice to the people, because you can't have people who are, you know, under the parliamentary system. We have any semblance of improprieties demands that you step down. But this guy got all kind of cases against him. I mean, Adrian was my friend, but you got all kind of cases against you. You cannot run again. What you trying to run for? Back up. You're doing injustice not just to you, but to the whole system. So what we talking about here? Why the FNM even considering this?
Well, I was about to ask.
What we doing?
Why is it that the FNM has not made a definitive decision to say, Adrian, you know what?
I mean, I don't
not
understand
this
what we're
time.
doing.
It's not that easy, Shanique. It's not that easy for them. You gotta understand the quandary that the Free National Movement and its leader find themselves in with all of the recent fires that they have been had. Or basically all
The biggest
of the
fire, the biggest fire they had was Menace. They out that fire. They said Menace, we ain't want you, right?
That ain't out.
That's the biggest. But
Cassius?
they parted ways with Menace, right?
That dumb fire is still smoldering.
Well, it's still small, but they parted ways. Then you got somebody who got a court case, the longest case in the history of the Bahamas, though, going on. We had one or two places say we like you. That don't make no difference. You cannot bastardize the parliamentary process.
The truth is, until we make clear stipulations of what is accepted and what is not, because we've had people in the past that should have stepped aside, didn't step aside, and so we keep setting new precedent in this area.
But this
And
is
so
why
Adrian
this is why we
Gibson
say,
feels, as a young man, there's nobody to speak to him to say, brother, it's time that you step
You should
aside.
step- you should
It's
step
time
aside.
You should have senior men in both parties, Progressive Liberal parties and Free National Movement, that can say to young men like Adrian Gibson, that's as far as we
Listen.
can go. You got our support, but you cannot act in this capacity within the party.
y'all
within the
stop
party.
pussyfooting,
That
pull up your
is
pants,
not- that
and
is
tell the young
absent in
man
this
you
country.
can't run. Stop pussyfooting.
They can't do it.
Tell them you can't run
They
because
can't.
you got too much issues going on.
How does this look further for a party that has had its fair hits this term?
Well, take another one.
Their challenges.
Take another one.
It ain't that easy to move him.
I mean, but think about it. Think about it. It's easy. It's easy. I mean, while you may have issues with the constituency, nobody listens to the constituency association anyway. I proved that. And so, just make a
And
decision.
that can have consequences.
It always has consequences. But according to their leadership, after a while, the constituency association falls back in line anyway. So just make
Some
the decision.
does.
Make the decision now.
So what do you think the PLP is likely to do or needs to do in terms of their candidate, and why are they dragging their feet? Because they too have, as far as we remember, several people who are aspirants for Long Island.
Now, remember now, over the last year or two ago, we've had considerable movements for water pipelines going down.
Yeah,
A lot has been happening in Long Island.
yes,
And then you had a lot of heavy supporters of the Free National Movement
Yeah.
switch party and say they're going with the PLP.
I remember that.
And so the leadership of the FNM was saying, hey, Long Island is now in play. That means the PLP could possibly win Long Island for the first time, because what we saw with the PLP doing in Long Island. So don't take it for granted. While Long Island is solid FNM, don't take it for granted what the PLP has been doing underground. That smoldering fire could light a blaze in a minute.
I remember we carried several of those stories, Cassius, you're right. And I think even last year, there were some of those, quite a number of those
A
stories
lot of
going.
people voiced their concern that they're leaving the FNM and joining the PLP, and these are solid FNM supporters. And so people may forget, but I don't know. I don't forget much.
It
And
seems
so,
there are many interesting races shaping up all over the nation.
On both parties.
Oh, both, of course.
Shanique,
That's why I
really
said
think
races.
The progressive, and see, you got to know when to take advantage of a situation. I don't think they need to allow their candidates, because I think they have about 2 or 3 in that same seat, vying for that seat.
Aspirants,
And
yeah.
Don't allow it to drag on. Let's pull this together,
But see,
make a decision,
but-
and you catch the enemy while they are
you had a
down.
solid guy like Michael Turnquist, right? Michael Turnquist is solid. FNM guy. He had a voice nationally. He was on your show, Shanique. People love Michael
He
Turnquist.
still is.
Very good.
He still is.
And
Very
then,
nice guy.
and then you just disregard Michael Turnquist. I mean, think about it. You had somebody who could voice their concern, could come and speak about the issues, solid from Long Island, got support of the people in Long Island, and you just say, anyway, we don't want you. Why don't you go in Elizabeth and Nassau Village? Mike said he ain't fooling with that.
I know he says he's not interested in
You ain't
Nassau
job-
Village.
You ain't jobbing him in the ghetto no
Long
more. He ain't for that.
Island was
Long
the seat he
Island.
was interested in. He's from there. He has business there. He frequents there. He knows the people.
And I like
the
Mike.
The people
Mike is a
know
good
him.
guy. Michael Turnquist is a really good guy.
Yes, absolutely. What about then someone who has been reported to be the front runner now? Of course, Dr. Andre Rollins.
I think Andre Rollins is yet still a young man. He has a future in politics in this country. Notwithstanding what Harris would have said about him, I think Andre Rollins have a lot to offer, and he again would have also been a wonderful candidate for that seat. I think we just got to make decisions and move on with
But
it.
we don't know what the FNM is likely to do.
Whether it was Andre Rollins or Michael Turnquist, I mean, I would have think that leadership would have pulled the parties together and said, well, okay, listen, I think
they could put Andre Rollins there. Andre Rollins going
I think he's going
to be the nominee for Long Island.
He's the favorite one
and so the thing about it is whether or not Andre could pull it over the top, whether or not he has the support on the ground, whether or not he have, because a lot of the Long Island supporters live in Nassau. So the heavy brokers, the brokers for the Long Island seat lives in New Providence. These are the people who come now, they live in Nassau, and they are the ones who saying, listen, I need you all to support X, Y, Z. If he could get those people, he stand a chance. But if not, he got problems. But I know, I've spoken to many of them, one of the Long Island boys, my friends, and they said, listen, we wanted Michael, but, any which way, the party decided to go elsewhere.
Now, of course, we understand that the Free National Movement, they were scheduled to have their, total launch of candidates on Thursday evening. We understand that's been moved to Friday evening. That's to be confirmed. But whatever it is, of course, Beyond the Headlines will have just spot on and up-to-the-minute responses about the nominees and those who are ratified. And then we understand, of course, you heard the Progressive Liberal Party will just roll out its official slate of candidates on Sunday. And so, of course, we will obviously give response to that as well.
Shani, can I prophesy?
Go prophesy.
Let me prophesy.
Go ahead, sir.
If Adrian Gibson do not get that nomination, I prophesy there will be another civil war within the Free National Movement.
That's what I'm telling you.
I prophesy that. Because
Long Island supports Adrian.
What? Adrian ain't going
and it will be another Larry Cartwright situation if Adrian Head is that strong.
I ain't talking about the constituency. I'm talking about him himself. He said, I will not go silently into the night.
Adrian will really put up a fight.
There will be a civil war.
He could win Long Island independent. If Long Island stands behind their man, there's nothing no party can do.
Well, Larry's a little bit different. You can't put Larry and Adrian in the same shoe.
Watch it. Long Island supports Adrian.
Beyond the Headlines is back right after this. Stay close.
The Bahamas is the premier destination for fly fishing because of its unique geography.
We've got the third largest barrier reef in the world in the Bahamas.
We have the largest aggregation of mangroves in the Western Hemisphere.
Which simply means we've got the largest marine biodiversity than anywhere else in the world.
I am unapologetic about Bahamians being owners in our #1 industry.
We should not just say it, we should have it enacted into certain policies.
The Bahamas Fly Fishing Industry Association was instrumental in the 2017 sports fishing legislation. Anyone fishing in the Bahamas who's going to be guiding has to be certified and licensed, and thirdly, they have to be a Bahamian.
And that is historic in that a model of conservation and a model for Bahamianization has been legislated, the only one in the country.
But it also gives Bahamians the opportunity with a sense of pride to know that at the end of the day, I'm contributing to the development of my country and something they can pass on for generations.
The Out Island of Bahamas, there are no other alternative industry that generates the kind of revenue that fly fishing does. The entire community benefits.
I would always encourage the tourists, people who want to fish, hire a local guide.
The guides in the Bahamas are some of the best trained fly fishing guides in the world. You know it because you see the results in terms of the kinds of fishing they're doing. They're catching the largest bonefish, the largest tarpon, largest permit. That is unique. So this is the lure to all the anglers internationally coming who thinks of the Bahamas as #1 destination for fly fishing and saltwater.
I'm really excited about this initiative that SPTC has brought forth for the fishermen.
If you have great guides and terrible boats and engines and nothing working and all this, you could be the best in the world. And people still have a terrible experience because they could not have a good day on the water.
I think one of the greatest things is to have access to quality capital, but not only having access to the capital, but terms and conditions related to the capital, so we encourage growth and expansion of the industry and professionalism within the industry because of the resources being at hand and having proper guidance.
It'll be a greater impact and they'll have a better experience.
And I foresee it being an opportunity that the guides are taking advantage of in terms of the opportunities for education, awareness, and resources. You always need to advise people, inform them, and then equip them. And so I think this process is essential because it allows the skill sets that are needed in a changing economy and environment, how they could then keep up with operating their small business.
The race to 2026 is heating up, and the nation's voice is louder than ever. Here on Beyond the Headlines, we're checking the mood, the momentum, and the message of the people. I'm Shanique Miller. Each week, we're taking the temperature of the electorate to see what's really driving the nation. Who's connecting? Who's cooling off? What issues are heating up ahead of 2026? This is Temperature Check 2026, where journalism meets the nation's heartbeat.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Frustrations with management and the reported continual decline in working conditions compelling employees at Clifton Heritage to seek outside assistance to have their issues addressed. But those individuals tell Janelle Longley tonight that even that seems to be a hard-fought solution.
They'll say, oh, the young people ain't want to work. Why I want to get up in the morning to come to this foolishness? But only because I have children, I'll do it. And not just me, them, all of them.
Over 10 years and no real solution has left employees at Clifton Heritage Park at a breaking point.
We in a specialized field, water sports. We have landscaping, horticulturists. But yet we have management that don't reflect the departments they running. But yet they making top dollar almost twice as much as what you making. You laboring in the hot sun, in the ocean. It's ridiculous. We could barely get running water down there. We could barely get uniforms. We could barely get the tools we need to operate properly. And I wouldn't even talk about safety.
We don't have an operational kitchen. They fired the kitchen manager. And our cry is, Clifton doesn't have any money. We'll have to put together and actually bring something to cook actually in the bush or to put on the grill. Or we'll have to go ride some 5-10 miles down to buy food from someone on the side of the street selling food. You know what I mean? And then we have guests come to the park. The guests, they have to go send for the guest lunch. And it's crazy. When we have school, we have to go then order food for the kids.
Realities they believe no one, especially a company being subvented by government, should have to experience.
They just basically get into a position or a mindset where that ain't their problem. Wait till the next office getting power and y'all deal with that then.
And as employees started to believe that the fight could be bigger than them as individuals, they sought protection under the Bahamas Communicators and Public Officers Union, led by Sherry Benjamin. But the red tape still has not cleared.
We're trying to form a partnership with them so that we can work together in the interest of all parties concerned. And because they did not respond to our request for recognition, we then filed to the Minister of Labor to make a determination on our request. And based on the law, she would have done her due diligence and saw that we had the support of the staff here at Clifton Heritage, and she would, in mid-December, she would have given us that recognition. And so once that recognition was gained, they also communicated that to the managing director and chairman of Clifton Heritage. And so why they don't want to get to the table, it's beyond me.
And parties are now calling for government intervention in more ways than one.
And I say to the Prime Minister, you put these people in place to carry out your agenda. So what I'm going to need you to do is to move them forthwith and put the right people in place who will carry your message. This is an election year, and you're going to be looking to these same people to put you back in power.
Janelle Longley, Eyewitness News.
Gentlemen, I don't know if you each have a response to that. Obviously, it's something that we will continue to follow.
Well, obviously, the powers may be watching this, and what we saw, we can only make a statement based on what we saw. The infrastructure is really bad. If that's Clifton Heritage and that's the infrastructure under the control of the government, that is shameful. You need to fix that. You need to fix it now. And so you cannot have tourists, you cannot have citizens, you cannot have anybody in those conditions. And so we need to make sure that we have proper maintenance on all government facilities so that whoever uses these facilities can have top-tier facilities. And so that's unacceptable. And I'm sure somebody's watching and somebody will report to somebody. Y'all get to work, please.
Well said, Cassius. And I think that come under Antiquities and Monument Museum. I think it's deplorable for us to let our heritage and a place like Clifton Heritage.
I mean, because after all, we are in need of more tourist attractions.
Exactly.
That's an historic site that should be maintained. I agree.
Snorkeling, and that's where they have that underwater thing with all of the persons on the water. You can see people like sitting on stools.
And the nice rock formation,
Yes.
It's really
And so,
stunning.
yes,
I mean,
we
we
need
could
to
never,
take care
listen,
of these
let's upkeep,
So
let's
we
upkeep.
we can't stop being nasty. That's my problem.
That's that part right there.
We
So
gotta stop being
it's
nasty,
that part
man.
as well.
You know,
It's that
I mean,
part.
even you go through every government agency and you see deterioration. You gotta stop that, man.
Yeah.
We 50 years. We 50 years as independent. We still
50 plus.
nasty. I hate that. Get me mad.
Pride, Bahamian our pride.
Well,
and
here's
joy.
something to smile about. Ending on a nice, beautiful note this evening in Grand Bahama. I want to say, by the way, a big hello to everyone there. Grand Bahama loves the show, supports the show, and watch the show on a different level than anybody else does, and any other island. And we do have watchers and viewers and supporters all over. So I'm not. But
We
listen,
love you, Grand Bahama.
I want to
Listen.
say, before we respond, I want to let you all hear from this Grand Bahama straw vendor herself and her thoughts about Beyond the Headlines.
I love Shanique Miller.
You love her?
I love her. I've never met her. I watch her all the time. Miss Beryl Bryce is my name.
Well, tell her, say Shanique Miller, I love you.
I love her.
All right.
I love her. I love her. So she is so professional.
Mhm.
And she lets you know what others don't let you know.
That's right.
Okay?
All right.
I love to hear you guys.
I
I
get-
love the panelists too, especially you and Mr. Leslie Miller. The yard, what do you call it? Yard booster?
Yeah.
I
I get-
watch you guys, man.
I can let her know I
yeah,
spoke to
man.
you.
She got a fan in Bahama, Grand Bahama, Miss Beryl Bryce.
Okay. All right.
Not to me, yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello to you, Miss Beryl Bryce. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, all of you there at, what is that, the Grand Lucaya?
Yes, Padukaya, yes.
Lucaya Marketplace, and all over Grand Bahama. I'll tell you, I love you all. Thank you for supporting the show in the way that you do, almost like a cult following. I love that. Thank you so much. Cassius, that was you in
Yes.
Grand Bahama at the weekend speaking
Have
with
you been
her.
talking to people? I love Grand Bahama, and the food is so good, Shanique.
I know you fell in love with a particular dish,
Yeah,
yes.
the food is so good.
Yes.
I ain't gonna say, but the food is so good. The people could cook,
Mm-hmm.
and listen, and they know how to have fun. They know how to enjoy themselves. So listen, Grand Bahama, I soon come back. Please call for me. I come in.
Yeah, I absolutely love it there as well. When we went late last year, you know, I know that they are anxious for growth and prosperity,
things
but don't
it's
let
moving.
it is moving. Listen, David Wallace appeared on this show quite a number of times and said you can't find an apartment anymore. The economy has picked up and turning, and I'm looking forward to discussing and having more of those discussions as well. So I'm happy for you people. I was told last evening that, listen, taxi drivers are working, the ATVs, I think that's what they're called. People are now renting them in droves, and there's a whole lot happening in Grand Bahama. Restaurants are full,
Yes.
and that's good news to hear.
I could attest to that. People were in the port from Thursday, Friday. They're in the port. All the people with the bars were open. The restaurants were open, and so
And
things are not where it was, but it's moving in the right direction.
And sometimes we highlight what we think is so bad. I know persons went from here recently to Grand Bahama and is doing good business in Grand Bahama. So Grand Bahama is on the rebound slowly. Of course, there's some other projects that is coming off stream, but it is on the rebound.
It is, and we are right there rooting for you, Grand Bahama.
Absolutely.
In fact, the Grand Bahamians, I need to go to the home of hospitality. Guess where you all in Grand Bahama? Guess where?
Yeah.
Say West End.
I come into Grand Bahama.
And listen, don't forget 8 Mile Rock now.
Let's go, Shanique.
I've been to 8 Mile Rock too, and the people in 8 Mile Rock say the same thing. They love us.
Yeah.
They love me. And listen, I love you all so
and
much.
I love, listen, it's slower. I know with all that's happening, it'll pick up, and obviously, people
I got to
returning
eat some
there.
very exotic dishes in 8 Mile Rock. And, the conch salad in West End. And you want to know the dish I eat?
No, it's okay. You don't have to say.
All right, I ain't going to say. But any which way, we had a good time. I had a good time in Grand Bahama. And I can't stop talking with the food because Grand Bahamians know how to cook some good food. So if y'all want in domestic tourism, go to Grand Bahama. And the Port Authority did not pay for this ad.
No, they didn't. I tell you, a whole free segment for Grand Bahama. But no,
Sarah?
we're happy to see. Yeah, we're happy to see
Sarah St. George?
Bahama. Yeah, absolutely.
She owe you one.
Listen,
Yes.
Rupert Hayward. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that,
but I
yes.
thank you all so much. Of course, a big thank you to Jose Etienne at the top of tonight's show. He came in twice live from Grand Bahama. Thank you very much, Jose. And of course, Cassius Stewart, Ellington Ferguson, thank you both as well. And a huge thank you to all of you tuning in this evening. I certainly enjoyed having you along, and I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.